Guys, I'm so mad because I recorded such a long video about a lot of things and it was very detailed and it had very good information, of course, as always, and it gets deleted. I was picking up my cat and her paw hit the back button on my phone as I was making the video because I used the YouTube recording whatever platform thing, to make my video. I do it through YouTube. I don't do it just on my phone and then upload it. Because it's easier and I can just, instantly do it and upload it to YouTube. So little girl, this kitten is trying to to go outside, but it's raining. It's raining. The other ones are coming in. Okay, sorry about that. So anyways, yeah, I'm mad because I had a very, very good video, very informative video, but I'm going to attempt to record exactly what I was saying before, but I'm sorry I don't have a pretty picture up there. It's just not necessarily, that's not my intention. Like, I just want you guys to hear what I have to say here. It's not, like, my goal is not, it's not concerning me really what's on the screen. I understand that it would help if you see my face and all that, and you can see who I actually am, but I'm going to get into that in another date. I just don't feel comfortable right now. I feel more comfortable talking like this, and I think once I open up a little bit more, then I can, I'll show you guys who I am, what I look like, whatever. All right, so the thing that happened to me last night, I just made like 3 videos of this, and the first 2 didn't come out good, and the last one I lost, so I'm frustrated a little bit, but I explained it really good. Anyways, I'm not going to harp on that. But last night, I had the worst pain, or actually one of the worst pains I've had, and I suspect that it's a directed energy weapon situation. Because I haven't had pain in this area for so long. Now, it was in my lower abdomen area where my ovaries, or where I had, my surgery, and where my bladder is. That's where I got this excruciating pain last night. And I woke up my boyfriend, and he was concerned. He didn't know what the heck was going on with me. And so I said, I don't know what's going on. All I know is I have pain down there, and I'm not sure what this is, because I haven't had pain in so long. And it really just came out of nowhere. I think I said that a million times. So I was, contemplating, well, it must be, a directed energy weapon, because there's nothing else I can think of, because this pain was so strange. It felt like something was, I don't know, either pulling something inside of me, or it really did feel like a directed beam of something, or like a zap, or like a shock within that area, but not just a little shock. I mean, it's like very, very, very concentrated and intense. And sometimes I'll get like pains around my body, all over my body, that are short bursts of intense pain. And that's bad enough, but it's like, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to this pain that I felt last night. And I'm sure it could get worse, too. Not that I want that, obviously. But, so, that was a very, very strange thing. And obviously, we know what that is. Because, why? I was talking about my story about what happened to me with my cancerous tumor that I had. Well, I don't want to say my cancerous tumor because it's not mine. It's just what happened to me. And the bladder issue that I told you that I had. Now, I'm not trying to be graphic here, but I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I could not use the bathroom. I could not use the bathroom much at all. Number one or two, that's how much it hurt. That it was so painful. I tried, but I couldn't use the bathroom. It's raining out there. And of course, there's more banging going on because every time I open my back door, it seems like everybody wants to bang on something. Ridiculous. Yeah, and that's smart to be working on stuff in the rain. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But these gang stalkers, they're actually forced to work no matter what weather it is. I read that somewhere. They said no matter rain, snow, sleet, hail, any type of weather, they're slaves, you guys. They're slaves. They are the ultimate slave, and they love being that type of slave. Most of them do. But I know there's those people that they claim they're forced into it, but you're only forced if somebody literally forces you to do something, but that's not being forced. It's just being coerced and being mind controlled to not do what your heart tells you. Those people that do this. I'm not saying that all gang stalkers, have a conscience, but I'm just saying that some of them might have one, but they're ignoring it, and they're, you're basically getting your ticket to hell. Like, that's what you're doing. As soon as you sign up for gang stalking, that is your ticket to hell. And I don't mean that lightly. I don't mean that figuratively. Okay? Hell can mean whatever you think it means, but hell really, it's a state of mind, but I think it's a place too. I think it's a place. And I really think that if you know what you're doing wrong, and if you don't know what you're doing, you should figure out what you're doing. Because, that right there is also evil. Just doing things for people that you don't realize, like, you don't know what you're doing. You're just following orders. Order followers. They're wrong too. They're evil too. Because they're going along with something that they don't realize or don't want to open their eyes to see is actually killing people. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk about. But anyways, the pain that I had, it must have been from a directed energy weapon, it must have been. Because there's no explanation for that. I mean, I was in excruciating pain for no reason, out of nowhere in the middle of the night. And I've had a pain similar to it, but not, I mean, this was magnified, I want to say times 10. And I never completely felt this feeling. Like, I felt something similar to it, but never, the magnitude of what I felt last night. And let me just tell you, I have not felt pain in a long time, in that area that I had my surgery. So anyways, I'm going to also tell you about something that happened yesterday when my boyfriend and I were in the park walking. Okay, let me just say that my plan was to go in this secluded area of the park where people aren't really supposed to go in, and apparently they're opening it back up again. Surprise, surprise, because nothing is a surprise when you're a TI. And they... So as soon as I went in there were two people that came out, an older woman and it looked like her son. They were wearing blue. Okay, I get stocked with blue and red. Everybody that's around me wears red, and mostly red, but blue too. And okay, it's just frustrating because there's so much going through my head. All right, so it was them first, and then I hear the workers like using their drills and banging real hard on the wood, like they were working on a walkway or a bridge. And of course, they just happen to start working as soon as I get there. Where I'm finally feeling like, okay, good, I'm getting away from everything. No people are going to be back here, or a minimum amount of people will be back here, because not everybody knew about that, but there were, people here and there that would jog or just take a stroll through there, but not like this, okay? And then I started seeing more and more people, probably because it's being opened up again, but there's no real actual entrance. Like, you have to go through this fence that was destroyed, to get there. So it's like, okay, so what? All these old people, like, climbed through this fence? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, normally you wouldn't see an older person, they would have a hard time trying to, like, climb over a fence, or, one that's kind of, like, pushed down a little bit, even though it's still easy. But, like, you don't see that normally, you see more of, like, younger people wanting to do stuff like that, or hopping a fence, but apparently they got in that way. And, anyways, not going to get into that too much. But then, so these guys were working, and I'm like, wow, okay, so I'm not going to have any peace and quiet. I'm going to have to listen to them assholes. And I just keep walking, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? I'm not going to turn back. I'm just going to keep going. So I keep going, and yet again, there's another older woman with her son, and they're wearing blue and red. Wow, what do you know? The next people I see, they're wearing the same colors, and there's the same theme of the older woman with her son. And, hey, come here. It's okay. They're fighting. My cats, I love them. Anyway, they're crazy, but I love them. No, they're not crazy. They're just a little wild right now. All right. So, let me just get back to this. I get distracted a lot if you haven't noticed. I have ADD like crazy, but that could also be part of the, it could be a combination of targeting as well. But I also have autism, a high-functioning autism, so I think that's why I get distracted a lot and I start talking about other things. But Please forgive me, and I will, try to get back on track. So as I was walking further into this area, there was, let's see, I'm trying to think of the next one. Okay, there was a guy with a blue shirt and sunglasses, jogging, and he passed me by 2 times in a very short amount of time. And he came around when the second older woman with her son came by. Also, after that, I want to say there was one more or a couple more people that I didn't really notice that well. And then there was another woman. This one seemed like she had maybe, I don't know exactly how the rankings go or whatever. Not that I even really care, but the gang stalking, is done by the lower level perpetrators, and then the higher level perpetrators, would be like a handler, somebody orchestrating all this. Now, I'm not sure if this girl was a handler, because they usually don't gang stalk. If you're a handler, you don't really gang stalk, but I'm sure you could if you wanted to. But the handlers, they do more of, like I said, the orchestrating and whatever. So, more of the evil planning, that's what they do. And she was wearing a checkered sweater or blouse, okay? Now, let me just say, in Freemasonry, they use the checkerboard symbolism for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is because it represents, the black part represents ignorance, and the white part represents knowledge or light or wisdom. Well, not wisdom per se, but knowledge. And how they see it is that the checkerboard symbolizes how the black and white is separated. So ignorance is separated from knowledge. I don't know how else to say that, but they look at us obviously we're the black squares and they're the white squares, and they know what's up, they know what's going on. They think they're illuminated, hence Illuminati. I'm not going to get into all that Illuminati's crap, because people, they use the term Illuminati, but they really don't know what it means. It just means enlightened or, illuminated as far as your awareness or knowledge or wisdom of the secrets of the world, really, or existence. So yeah. I don't know how else to say that. I'm being distracted again. So the checkerboard thing was weird, because the woman, the way that she acted was she was following me. Not okay, I don't even know how to explain it, but not like how normally gang stalkers follow you. It was like a very deliberate, wasn't so much covert, but it was like she was attempting to be covert, because she knew if anybody else saw what was going on, they would figure out, maybe, she's following me, maybe, but I could tell she came out of nowhere, okay, and then when I was, continuing to walk, I said to myself, if I stop right here, I'm going to say something if she passes me by, because I was getting pissed off, seeing one person after the other, even though this is normal. It's not normal, but it's what happens to me. seeing this person after person, I was like, okay, I'm going to say something now. Like, I'm not having this. I'm not dealing with this right now. I want my space. I want peace and quiet, and I'm not getting it like usual. And I'm thinking the woods is the best place because nobody usually wants to go there except for those gang stalkers that don't mind walking in the woods. Anyway, there's so much on my mind. So the woman, she disappeared out of nowhere. The one with the checkered board blouse or sweater, whatever it was. She disappeared out of nowhere. As soon as I thought that thought of, I'm going to say something, I'm going to confront her, that's when she disappeared. And I just sat on a bench and I was relaxing. And I did have a couple more gang stalkers after that were swarming around us, trying to follow us, like trying to figure out which way we were going so that they could follow us on that path, or like take another path to meet us where we were going to end up. And that didn't happen because I was confusing them on purpose, and I was like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. Let's just keep walking one way and then turn around and walk another way so they think we're going this way, but we're really going another way. And it worked. So that was good for a little bit. We could, we had a little bit of space, and we found another area where we're not really supposed to go, but we went anyways because, doesn't matter. It's not like, it was basically like the part that was sectioned off, they say, for a sanctuary for the wildlife, but we're not going to bother any wildlife, We just simply walked through and then walked back. And, yeah, and that's, you have to find places where people usually don't go in order to get less gang stalkers, because you're never going to completely get rid of them all. But at least you can lessen the amount of them for the time being, and then confuse them. That's another good tip. Try to confuse them as to where you're going or where you want to go, or just have a million things in your head. Like, don't really decide right away what you want to do. And that helps a lot, I noticed. They get confused and they don't know, like, where to go. They don't know where to be stationed, and yeah, it helps. So, alright, I'm going to end this because it's just getting too long and I'm not sure if I have enough space in my phone. So hopefully I do. But, alright, talk to you later. And thank you for commenting, everybody. I really appreciate your comments. Alright, bye-bye.